Okay folks, like many of you, I'm going to be using a Hobonichi Techo planner for 2023. This is like about my 6th year in a row or so of using this particular planner. I have the new one for 2023. Let's unbox it and let's actually in particular do a paper test, which we'll get to some more details of that in a second. So interestingly enough, Tomoe River paper, as it says right here, is changing for the 2024 edition, but they nice enough gave you a little sample of what the new paper is going to look like. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a writing sample and compare the 2023 paper to the 2024 paper and see if there's a difference for us. So we'll do that right here in the video. So it comes with a little insert in English and in Japanese, just about the Techo. Comes with a little bit of advertising and shows you different products that they have and different suggestions for using this. That's all well and good, but let's get to the main event here, which is the Hobonichi Techo 2023. Again, it has the year on the spine and just says Hobo like all of them do. We open it up. We get our heavy gray paper flyleaf. Just says Hobonichi Techo 2023 planner. We've got our 2023 and 2024 calendars. Now we've got each day, one line per day, days of the week, one column per month, which is pretty useful. I actually, believe it or not, use this to record which pen I used that day. I know it's a little nuts of me, but that's what I do. And that goes all the way through March to the first quarter of 2024. We now have our month grids, traditional 1 month layout calendars. January, February, and March. This is going to go all the way through 2020. January, February. Should go to through the first quarter of 2024, which it does. We then got a couple of blank grid pages. It's not a dot grid, but it's a grid made out of dots, if you know what I mean by that. We then have, before each month, we get a coming up the month, and so you have a lined piece of paper, one line page for before the current month, and then Sunday, January 1st is the first day of the year. Sundays are in this orange color. All the other days are in this sort of dark gray color. The tab is for the month. So if you see the tab here, January, and then you've got February, so you can quickly go to a given month if you needed to. This shows you the day of the month, and I'm sorry, the day of the year. If you go all the way through it, it counts up the days. It shows you the phase that the moon is in. It has this little bit down the side with a 12, meaning your noontime plan, so you can kind of plan outward for the thing, and a little knife and fork, presumably that will be your dinner plans. It has some quote. Frankly, I don't has some quote. Frankly, I don't pay too much attention to those. And then it has a little calendar for the month with the day in question circled. So it's 1 day per page. So if you go to like a spread here, you'll have Monday, Tuesday, etc. And then it keeps going there. And the only thing that really varies are these quotes at the bottom. That will take you all the way through the end of the year. So that comprise these 1 page per day comprise the absolute bulk of the book. We then get to the end of the year, and this is the part where the book does somewhat vary, but again, this is not a part that I in particular pay much attention to. You have these dot grids. Now you have actual dot grids as opposed to a grid made up of dots. You have a bunch of these blank dot grid pages. You have things like that I never bother with: contacts, conversion tables, size charts. Again, nowadays everyone has cell phones and stuff. This is really kind of unnecessary. You have a ruler, your top 100 list, and then it has some fun material, and this varies from year to year. And this year it's Express Yourself in Japanese. It has some stuff about Japanese desserts, etc. And then this part I do fill in, where I will fill in my name, address, etc. And then every one of these books has their own unique serial number. Again, just kind of a fun thing, doesn't really mean much of anything. So this is pretty much the deal for the Hobonichi Techo 2023. But here's what I want to do. I want to really compare the paper. So let's go to the back here and let's do some writing samples. So here's the Hobonichi Techo 2023, and here's the sample of the 2024 Tomoe River paper that was provided. So we want to make sure or test to see if this is comparable or how fountain pen friendly it is. So I'm going to try it with two different pens. I'm going to try it with this fountain pen. This is a pen BBS 456 filled with Ackerman SBRE brown ink. And I'm also going to try it with this ballpoint pen. This is a Bastion bolt action ballpoint pen, but the more important thing is the refill that's in it is a Schmidt Easy Flow in medium ballpoint refill. So that is what we're going to test this out with and see how that goes. So first, let's try on our 2023 book on the old style Tomoe River paper, if you will, and let's just do a writing sample. And there we go. So this is kind of what I would expect, because this has pretty much been the paper that's been the case for all the years. It does not really feather, doesn't really bleed through. Of course, it's thin paper, so you can see through it, but I'm not getting bleed through. And it's very, very smooth, etc. And the shading on the ink shows up quite nicely. Let's now do a writing sample with the ballpoint. Again, writes very nicely, no drag, etc. Looks good, and there it is from the other side. So now let's do our writing sample using the upcoming new Tomoe River paper from the new book that'll be coming in 2024. And there we go. The one thing I would say, it's very smooth, it's a great experience, etc. Just my initial reaction is the ink seems to be going on a little heavier. It seems like it's almost more of an ink-friendly or slightly more absorbent type paper, but it is not feathering in any way, and it's not bleeding through either. So my initial reaction is I actually like it a little better. Okay, on the ballpoint, just from a feel in the hand, it definitely, as smooth as this Tomoe River paper is, this actually feels a little bit smoother. I think there's definitely a much more glidey kind of effect on the surface here. You know what I almost want to try it with? I want to get a much finer point fountain pen and try it with that. So just hang on a second. Okay, what I got here is a Lamy 2000 in extra fine. So let's just do that. So and again, very smooth, very smooth on the older paper. Let's try it on the newer paper. Okay, it's very smooth, and I don't know if you can see it actually does feel smoother, and it's actually laying down a slightly broader line. So if you look at it, might be hard to see on the video, but the line is actually broader here than here, and the line is actually broader here than here. So it's essentially flowing, the ink is actually flowing more freely on this paper. But again, no feathering at all, which is great to see, because sometimes in a situation like that, the ink would feather a bit, and you're not getting any of that here. And like I said, you're not getting any of the bleed through. So it is definitely different. I have to say, personally, I think I actually like it better. We're not talking about a huge difference here, But for those of us who are like really bemoaning the fact that this Tomoe River paper is going away in favor of this Tomoe River paper, at least in my opinion, this reviewer is basically saying, no problem, bring it on. If this is the paper they're going with going forward, I am completely fine with that. That being said, I hope you folks all found this video interesting, and I hope you enjoyed it. What you could do, which would really help me out, is if you could please like, comment, share, and subscribe. I think that would really be great. And as always, until we see each other again, have a great day. Bye-bye.